Do I think gay people are born gay?
Yes.
It depends on the individual. I'm sure that there are some people who are, and some people who grow to prefer one sex over the other.
Is that immutable?
Is that immutable? Nothing about humanity is immutable.
Oh, so they can change their sexual orientation.
I
didn't say it, you did.
this isn't a gotcha, Adam. You can absolutely abuse somebody into finding something that they have an autonomous proclivity towards at some point, to not having that later on. The question is whether that's abuse. Like,
Sure,
nobody is denying that you can, for example, put somebody into a camp and brutalize them against their will into finding something that they autonomously found freely to be preferable to something else, to dislike that. That's not in question.
Most people.
The question is whether or not that's bad.
When they're talking
that's
about
a very bad
immutable,
thing.
though.
I would assume that neither of us are talking about constructing a government or society that has to brutalize people in order to get them to follow the rules that the society is laying out.
Well,
right?
I'm glad we can assume that, because that has actually nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Well, kind of is.
No, it has nothing to do with what we're talking
about. What is, the biological characteristics or the psychology of people, and you bring up, well, technically you can change that by putting someone in a highly abusive situation. I go, well, I guess that's true, but that's not what we're really
That doesn't mean you
about.
can
We're
only
saying
change that by putting someone in a highly abusive situation. But if you're looking at the people around you, you're saying, hey, how can we fix the gay people? The only way you can do that is by abusing them as like a deliberate intervention.
Right. So
which is why you shouldn't
sexual
do that.
orientation can only be changed through abusive coercion.
No, it can only be deliberately changed by your fellow citizens through abusive coercion. These are not the same thing.
Right.
Most of us are willing to accept the sexual orientation.
Like, it's not appropriate for you. It's not appropriate for you to try and intervene on someone's sexual development. Someone's sexual development can lead them to new preferences.
We're going full debate brain here. I mean, this is like, we're
Adam,
so far off topic.
I don't know what you're contributing to the conversation. Just if you have nothing to say, just don't.
So the point is that, okay, so you agree. You think that sexual orientation is basically some sort of biological process in people that take some sort of citizens enacting coercion, which we both agree is immoral.
Adam, is it? Hang on, I just want to ask Adam a question, because this just occurred to me. Adam, are you suggesting that the only reason why conversion therapy is wrong is because it wouldn't work?
Why? Look, you've gone full debate.
No. Is that seriously your position?
You do this thing where every time, like, I ask you a question and then you ask Adam something.
I haven't asked Adam a question.
Divert the topic away because you don't want to answer the question.
Serious question.
I don't know if
you
guys
really
know
your stance? Would you be in favor of it if it worked?
I think sexual orientation is immutable. So my position is perfectly clear. You're
Adam,
the one that's saying
sex is immutable. We evolved to be a sexual species.
Look, if I go on Twitter and tell everyone that President Sunday believes conversion therapy works, you just have to beat somebody hard enough. What are people going to think when I say that? That is your position. That is your position.
That's my position with respect to everything. You like 1984, right? What causes Winston to think that sometimes 2 + 2 equals 5?
Listen, I don't like to mischaracterize people, but now that I know that I can tell people you believe conversion therapy works if you beat the gays hard enough, I'm willing to let everyone know that's your position. Can we move back to left and right?
If you add the caveat that the reason why conversion therapy is fucking evil.
Look, everything I've read on conversion therapy. Listen, everything I've read on conversion therapy is that it does not work because sexual orientation is immutable.